South Africa is once again shaken to its core as a global legal tsunami crashes into the highest leadership ranks of the ruling African National Congress, the ANC. What had long been whispered in diplomatic corridors has now erupted into an open legal and political storm. Another international arrest warrant has reportedly been issued for senior ANC figures, and the names involved are more jaw-dropping than anyone expected. The ANC, once hailed as the shining emblem of liberation and revolutionary promise, now faces what observers are calling its gravest scandal since the fall of apartheid. Less than 6 months after international arrest warrants were first laid against major government heavyweights, and amid rising controversy over President Cyril Ramaphosa's alleged complicity in global legal violations, fresh leaked documents have surfaced suggesting that even more warrants have been filed. This time, the dragnet is broader. A wider circle within the ruling party's top leadership is now being hit. Sources close to the International Criminal Tribunal in The Hague, backed by intelligence assessments from both American and European Union agencies, say the latest round of warrants includes names that have left even veteran political analysts stunned. Among the most prominent is Paul Moshatile, the ANC's current deputy president and widely regarded as the party's heir apparent. His inclusion has sent shockwaves through Luthuli House, where unity is already fragile and factional tensions are reaching a breaking point. Also named is Zweli Mkhize, the former health minister whose fall from grace in the Digital Vibes corruption saga had already shaken public trust. But now Mkhize is alleged to be linked to far more serious offences, including international money laundering, racketeering, and illegal asset transfers spanning multiple continents. Even more unsettling is confirmation that a Umkhonto we Sizwe-linked ANC Youth League radical, long rumored to be returning to politics under murky circumstances, has also been named. And in a final dramatic twist, one of the listed MPs is reportedly serving on Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Finance. That MP, whose identity remains unconfirmed due to ongoing legal proceedings, is accused of facilitating illegal financial flows through a network of offshore tax havens, using shell companies and untraceable digital wallets. These warrants are not symbolic gestures. They are legally enforceable measures anchored in international treaties and global enforcement frameworks. Interpol red notices are reportedly being finalized, meaning those named could be arrested and extradited at any moment if they travel abroad or are located in countries with active extradition arrangements. South Africa now stands before a historic choice: will it honor its international obligations and extradite high-profile ANC leaders, or will it attempt to shield its political elite under the banner of sovereignty? This sweeping crackdown forms part of a broader global anti-corruption drive that has already seen senior officials in other African states, such as Kenya, Angola, and Nigeria, arrested or charged over money laundering involving looted public funds routed through European banking systems and property schemes. Now the spotlight has turned to South Africa, where the ANC's alleged financial misconduct is described as larger in scale and more sophisticated than that of its regional peers. Leaked investigation files paint a chilling picture. Billions of rand are believed to have been drained from state coffers over the past decade through fabricated procurement deals, shadow donor pipelines, and kickbacks tied to state-owned enterprises. One senior EU legal envoy, speaking to investigative journalists on condition of anonymity, reportedly said, "The evidence we've gathered spans more than 12 years. It includes phone logs, encrypted communications, asset trails, offshore banking transfers, and high-value real estate acquisitions. It's extensive, it's incriminating, and it's structured." Already, some European financial institutions are said to have begun freezing accounts linked to ANC-associated entities. Properties allegedly connected to targets of the investigation, villas in Switzerland, penthouses in Dubai, and beachfront homes in Mauritius, are reportedly under active seizure orders. These assets are suspected to have been bought using stolen money drawn from South Africa's development budgets, infrastructure allocations, and COVID-19 relief funds. At home, President Cyril Ramaphosa, who entered office on a reform wave, promising a new dawn, now appears politically isolated and under siege. As one by one his allies fall and an uneasy silence hangs over the presidency, public impatience is growing. Ramaphosa's refusal to issue a clear public statement on the arrest warrants has led many to suspect either that he too is under a cloud, or that he is powerless to stop the rot consuming the very party he vowed to clean up. The opposition is moving fast. Julius Malema, the fiery leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, erupted in parliament with blistering condemnation. The ANC is not just corrupt. It is a criminal syndicate disguised as a government, Malema thundered. The world has finally caught up with them. These arrests are not a surprise to us, we have been saying it for years. Malema continued, Ramaphosa must confess. How many more comrades must be named before he tells the truth? This isn't a problem of a few bad apples, the entire orchard is rotten. His remarks drew loud applause from opposition benches and a stunned silence from ANC MPs, many of whom are reportedly seeking legal advice in case the net widens further. Inside Parliament, sources say discussions are underway about convening a special emergency joint sitting of the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces. The purpose would be to chart a national response amid what is rapidly becoming an unprecedented constitutional crisis. Civil society groups, legal watchdogs, and anti-corruption organizations are also mobilizing nationwide. They are demanding the immediate suspension of all ANC officials named in the warrants and calling for a fully independent, bipartisan commission of inquiry to investigate the ANC's global financial dealings. Legal experts warn that extradition is no longer theoretical. If Interpol red notices are issued and honored, South Africa could be compelled under international law to arrest and extradite any citizen facing charges abroad. Failure to comply could trigger diplomatic sanctions, trade consequences, and even blacklisting by major international financial institutions. For the ANC, a once revered movement that stood as a pillar of African freedom, this collapse from moral authority is almost Shakespearean. The scandal has unleashed a new surge of public fury, with thousands mobilizing across social media and protest platforms demanding accountability. This isn't corruption, it's treason, shouted one protest organizer. They stole from the poor to live like kings, and now they must pay. South Africa now stands at a historic crossroads. The rule of law, the future of its democracy, and the moral integrity of its leadership are all being put to the ultimate test.